Hi, Julie Rader here with the Sagittarius super full moon update. This is happening on June 14th at 23 degrees at 4:51 a.m. for those of us Pacific time zone. So adjust for your time wherever you are in the world. So this is a super full moon. We will be feeling it more intensely than we would a normal full moon. Maybe not quite as intense as the eclipses, especially that last Scorpio full moon that we had. However, it's important to look at by degree if it's hitting any of your planets. So for me, I will feel this just as intensely as I would an eclipse because it is falling directly on my ascendant and my north node, which are conjunct in my chart. So this is where it's important to have your birth time, look at by degree where planets are in your chart, or have your chart professionally done. I do charts, so feel free to reach out to me. Or you can just go to astro.com if you know your birth time, add it in, and because it's really important to know your sun, moon, rising to get, as I go through the signs here, you want to listen to all three of those to get a more holistic view of how this full moon will be affecting you specifically. So you want to look and see if you have any planets, especially personal planets, being sun, moon, Venus, Mercury, Mars, at 23 degrees, but really any planets, specifically the personal though, at any of the mutable signs. So Sagittarius, that's where it's occurring, but also Gemini, where the sun is going to be. So that would be in opposition to the moon here, or Pisces or Virgo, because if you have any there, it's going to be squaring. And this is where you're going to definitely be feeling it the most. If you have any planets near within 5 degrees either side, so around 18 to 28 degrees of any of those signs I just mentioned, you will be feeling it the most. So at this full moon, we also have Saturn, which is retrograde now at this time. Saturn went retrograde on June 4th in Capricorn. So it is making a sextile, a really harmonious aspect, but it's an aspect of opportunity. So with this super full moon in Sagittarius, so Sagittarius is all about higher learning. It's about travel. It's about spirituality. It's about optimism, seeing the big picture. And when it's making this harmonious aspect to Saturn, which is the taskmaster, it's really more disciplined. It wants us to tap back into, if you have a spiritual practice that you used to do, like a daily meditation or pranayama practice, like the breathing exercises, or really anything that really helped you get centered, so important at this time anyway. But this full moon, it is asking you with this sextile to Saturn retrograde, it's asking us to bring that back into our life so that we can feel more joy, so that it's the discipline of these practices that actually give us so much freedom. That's the same thing. I've been teaching yoga for 23 years, and the same thing with the alignment in a yoga pose. So with the alignment, we focus on alignment so that the prana, the life force, chi, whatever you want to call it, can flow freely in the body. So it's like the discipline of holding the poses in a specific way with correct alignment allows so much more freedom in our bodies. Same with any of these spiritual practices. Maybe it means getting up earlier so that you can go to your meditation cushion, or getting up earlier. Maybe for you, it's journaling or getting into nature, but really having some kind of disciplined practice, or disciplined in your studies. Maybe you're studying something at a higher level. Maybe it's astrology. Maybe it's religion. Maybe it's philosophy, but really tapping back into that. This is a very conscientious aspect. So asking you to be more conscious in how you move about in the world and in your daily life. So also at this full moon, it's squaring Neptune in Pisces. This can bring about, if we're not doing the disciplined spiritual practices, meditation, whatever it is, it can bring about some self-deception. So it can really make us, a chicken is clearly laying an egg. We have chickens. So if you're wondering what that farm sound is here at my beach house, it's the chickens. But this Neptune in Pisces can have us a bit foggy. That's where, again, this spiritual practice that gives us so much clarity is very, very important. And so we had, and then just some of the aspects we've had around this full moon that we still will be feeling on the 11th. So 3 days prior, we had Venus conjunct Uranus. This full moon will, we'll be feeling this on top of that, that Venus conjunct Uranus in Taurus. Really, that who knows what is happening right now, because I'm filming this actually on the 1st of June, but who we'll see what happens around that time in our financial world, specifically crypto, but really anything, because it's Taurus and Venus. It could be stocks as well, the stock market, which has been volatile anyway. We could really be seeing that around that weekend prior, leading up to this full moon. And then on the 13th, we have Mercury, which is forward now, direct, moving back into Gemini, so in its home sign. And then we have, and that's where the sun is too. They won't be conjunct. They're on opposite sides of Gemini, but Mercury in its home sign there. And then on the 15th, oh my gosh, this might be a couple of chickens laying eggs right now. Yeah, it sounds like 2 of them. On the 15th, we have Mars, which is the motivation planet, but it's conjunct Chiron. So that's the day after this full moon. Mars conjunct Chiron is really asking us to go in and do the deep work. So that is also this lunation sextile Saturn also. Where can we do the forgiveness work? Where can we go in and heal? Where can we release these cords of energy that we're holding that maybe aren't our own energy? Where can we tap into our spiritual warrior, our spiritual archetype, the teacher archetype, healer that is within us? So that's a big part of this full moon as well. I'm going to quickly just go through each of the signs and tell you what area, sun, moon, or rising, specifically look at the rising, but sun and moon as well, what area of life it will be affecting for you. So for Aries, this is in your 9th house. This is the house that is all Sag qualities. It's international travel. Oh, and that's something too, this full moon, because it is Sagittarius super moon, travel on the collective could be highlighted. Maybe we're seeing things may open up. Maybe, well, it's a sextile to Saturn. I mean, it is a harmonious one, but maybe there will be some restrictions. Let's wait and see. But travel definitely could be on the forefront, especially for you, Aries, because this is in your house of long distance travel, international travel, and also higher studies. So everything I talked about, just the overarching views of the Sag full moon, you will be feeling it because it's in your 9th house. Taurus, this is in your 8th house. This is the house that's going to be shining a spotlight on the house of other people's money. So this could be you applying for a loan or something, or maybe you have, because it's so close to that Venus conjunction in Uranus in your house, in your 1st house, it really could be too. Maybe there is a windfall coming your way, or hopefully not, but something maybe unfortunate with financially too. But finance is definitely not your earned finances, but whether it's inheritance or loan or something like that, other people's money could be it. Also, this is a deep psychological house. You are feeling it so much this year because of the eclipses already being in your sign, and then so much activity there with Uranus there and hitting Venus and there, and then the North Node there. You're feeling a lot anyway. So this full moon could also just shine a light on your psychological outlook. Gemini, this is in your 7th house. This is shining a light on your relationships, both business and romantic. Cancer, this is happening for you in your 6th house. This is the house of health and pets and day-to-day routines. So shining a light there. Everything I talked about, if there is maybe getting back into some kind of disciplined health routine is important for you. Leo, this is happening for you in your 5th house. This is the house shining a light on romance, creativity, children, fun. Maybe it's time to schedule more of that in. Maybe you used to be very creative and paint or draw or journal or whatever it is. And with this Saturn sextile, it's asking you to start making time for that again. Virgo, this is happening for you in your 4th house, home and family. This is all about home and family. So shining a light there with that Chiron aspect as well. Maybe it's time to have some healing with family members. Libra, this is happening for you in your 3rd house. So again, bringing back maybe journaling, really getting back to writing out your feelings and that forgiveness work, and maybe doing that in the form of writing. Writing could be, you might have some opportunity for road trips as well. Could be shining a light on maybe some healing with a sibling or a neighbor as well. Scorpio, this is happening for you in your 2nd house. This is all about your self-worth. Scorpio, you are probably still feeling it from the eclipses. This is about you looking at your finances and also your worth and your self-worth. And hopefully you've been doing the work, the deep psychological work, so that your self-worth can improve, because when your self-worth improves, so does your net worth. Sagittarius, this is your 1st house. This is your super full moon. This is really all about you, how you step out into the world, shining a light on, also it can be health, your body, you also getting back into a disciplined routine that feels really, really good for you. Capricorn, this is happening for you in your 12th house. You may feel like retreating. With this sextile to Saturn, I highly recommend you do that. Find a meditation retreat or somewhere in nature and just go inward. You're not going to feel like being around people this full moon. So don't push it. Allow yourself to go inward. Aquarius, this is happening for you in your 11th house. You will feel like being around people, friends, tribes of like-minded people, shining a light on these areas. Do these tribes of people, do these friendships still honor who you are? And looking at your aspirations, your past goals and intentions. And finally, last but not least, fellow Pisceans, this is happening for us in our 10th house of career, shining a light on our career. And maybe because it's Sagittarius, are we seeing the big picture? Are we being optimistic? Are we adding some spiritual or higher studies into our career, which then really reflect who we are and shine that out into the world? Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video, and enjoy your full moon.